What is going on, everybody? Voidlego here, back with a brand new episode of Trails from Zero. Last time on, we finally went over to St. Ursula in order to see what these blue pills are about, but as they're undergoing testing, Tio passes out from a little anesthesia, or whatever it was. But we start asking, like, are you alright, Tio? Like, what's going on? After she, got very uncomfortable while we were discussing the blue pills, and she finally revealed to us her past, which is she was kidnapped by a cult when she was 5 and held there for about 3 years, all the while being experimented on with drugs and all these other things that were very similar to this blue pill. And so for 3 straight years, her and other children were sacrificed by this cult and experimented on over and over again until she was the last one remaining, and Guy broke into the stronghold and pretty much tried to kill everybody, but they already took themselves out by that point. And so Guy rescued Tio, and that's how she became so sensitive physically, or no, not physically, sensitive, just her senses were heightened, pretty much, was because of the human experimentations done on her, which is why everyone back home, including her parents, were just uncomfortable being around her, since she had become, I guess, a different person in their eyes, being experimented on and changing into this. And so she decided to go to the Epstein Foundation in order to find some way through life, as this kind of, as she sees himself, she sees herself as a broken girl trying to find a way through life. And she is comforted by the fact of Lloyd, Randy, and Ellie, of course, that, you know, there isn't a solution to life. There isn't a set path, that we all are lost in this, and all we can do is just hold on to each other while we go down this crazy path. We then talk to Sergey about it, and we find out that the cult's name was D, therefore G, aka the weird symbol with 3 dots. And how he told us that it was a string of it was a cult that tried to do human experimentation via these blue pills that we find out is called Gnosis. By the way, Comment told me how to properly pronounce it. Thank you very much for that. And also how Gnosis actually comes from Gnosticism, which is a thing I've heard quite a lot about, and I have a couple of thoughts about that in a second. But after talking to him, we get a bunch of support requests. We went ahead and defeated one of the monsters at Stargazer's tower, and after defeating them, we actually get a combo move between Randy and Ellie, which is pretty cool. So that's how we get the combo moves for our other characters, is by defeating these final monsters, which is pretty cool. I really like that a lot, actually. But on to the comments. There were 2 great comments from last time from the same person. One correcting me on how to pronounce Gnosticism, and how it comes from Gnosticism as the religion, as the concept. And I have a couple of thoughts about that. So, if I don't know much about Gnosticism, but basic idea is that there's this, false deity that claims itself to be God, but they called the Demiurge, if I remember correctly, that is trying to control humanity and all of that, like a false deity, while the true God is over doing something else, right? So I feel like that's very much on purpose, right? So it looks like this cult were Satanists, right? They believed in Gehenna. I wonder they believed Gehenna was the real goddess, while the goddess Adios, everyone else worships in Zemuria, is the false one. I wonder if that's the belief system of, like, you know, Gehenna is the real goddess, while the false one is Adios, and that they're seeking to control you. And I wonder if they're, like, obviously they would be against the church, but I wonder if there's any truth to that. You know? Is there any truth to this, Septarian, or, God, what was the church's name? Like, proper name? I'll just refer to them as the church. I wonder if there's any truth to that. Because we've seen, you know, via the Third, we've seen that the church is very cutthroat with its, you know, they made Kevin pretty much a hitman, even though he did give himself that title. He was still given orders to murder Weissman in a ironic way via the salt, like a pillar of salt. Like, the church made that weapon specifically to kill Weissman, or just a weapon in general, but to specifically use it on Weissman, one of the clergymen that was a part of the congregation for the church. It's pretty fucked up for the church to take that same pillar of salt that ruined his wife as a child, that destroyed his home, his state, and fire it back at him. Obviously, it's very much justified. Yeah, Weissman was a dick. He was a horrible person. But still, kind of cutthroat. Like, the church, we still don't know if it's obviously, it's gray. It's obviously gray. Like, the game does a great job at, you know, making a lot of sides gray. Like, exactly, is Ouroboros evil? I don't know. Like, Weissman was evil, 100%, but is Ouroboros itself evil? I don't know. It's a bit, we just don't have enough information about Ouroboros itself. But back to the topic on hand, which is the church. Obviously, they're hoarding artifacts. As they say, it's for the public safety, which is probably true. But at the same time, it's kind of, I don't know, like, I feel like the church has its own plans. Like, what are they doing with the Septarions, or just the general artifacts from this world? Are they destroying them, or are they using them? I mean, Kevin was sent in the Third to go get the cube, which was identified as a Septarion, and obviously the jurisdiction of taking that artifact away from Tia's mother. So, it's very interesting. I just, because of that one word, Gnosis, it is kind of, I don't know, it's like, it adds more depth to this cult, which hopefully we get sooner rather than later, which is, I believe, or I hope this turns out to be true, that they believed Gehenna was the real goddess, while Adios was the false goddess. Hopefully it's something like that, or maybe I'm just putting way too much thought into this, as I usually do in a lot of these games I play, but hey, that's what makes it fun. But the other comment from the same person, which is the themes in general. They touched on the themes I already went over last episode, which is the idea of trauma and how it shapes us and turns us either good or evil, such in the case of Weissman. He had a traumatic childhood, and it shaped him into what he became at the end, right? But the other theme the commenter mentioned that I haven't really brought up is the perspective of heroes, aka the legend of heroes. And that has been brought up a couple times in these games. For the Sky Trilogy, it was 100% Cassius. And our perspective, or other people's perspective on Cassius himself, which was, he is the greatest dude ever. He is one of the greatest heroes. Dude, he solved so many problems. He was the tactical genius that helped save Roberl from El Bologna in the 100 Days War, right? We see that perspective from so many different people. Like, hell, I think I mentioned in the Trails in the Sky, like, first Let's Play, that he kind of felt like a retired JRPG protagonist with the amount of shit he had done, right? We see that perspective, yet Cassius doesn't view himself that way. he feels like, from the little we've seen of Cassius and when he looked inside of himself, introspection, it seems like he feels like his biggest failure was not saving Estelle's mother, or at all. And that he feels like he wants to be a proper father to Estelle, but he's just never there because he has so many responsibilities as this hero, as this legend, really. And so that's why at the end of was it first chapter? Yeah, first chapter. He decided to give up being a bracer and become a general so he could do better by Roboral, right? Like, he could do so much more than just as a bracer, you know? He retook that role because he saw what Richard did, what, you know, wait, actually, this brings up another great point. It's because of Richard's perspective on Cassius himself is how Ouroboros was able to brainwash him a little bit. Simply, the brainwashing in the first is simply like, it just heightened the perspective of people, right? If I remember correctly. And that was the case for Richard. For Richard specifically, he viewed Cassius as a hero. A lot of people did. But he felt like he didn't do enough. Or, you know, Queen Elysia didn't do enough. They didn't militarize Roboral enough. They were trying to be a peacekeeping country. Richard wanted to militarize Roboral because the advancement of technology has been growing rapidly. In the terms of, like, in favor of Calvard and Elbronia, in comparison to those two, Roboral is nothing as a nation. That is why he tried to take over the monarchy so he could protect his nation. And obviously that led to the underground area of Gransel Castle, which was the Ouroboros' actual goal. But it really goes to show you how our perspectives of heroes, of people of legend, warps our perspective on them, yet they themselves don't view themselves like, well, I mean, depends on the hero. They don't view themselves as a hero. Like Cassius, for example. I feel like he is a perfect example of that. And so that's a theme we're going through right now. And hell, it's actually pulled off here excellent with Estelle and Joshua, right? In the beginning, when Estelle and Joshua showed up, of course, I'm like, holy shit, Estelle and Joshua's back, because I played as them before, right? And the SSS had a different reaction to them of like, oh my god, these guys are so powerful. These guys are so, you know, much more tactful than we are. We're just a bunch of noobs in comparison to Estelle and Joshua, right? That, oh my god, there is a reason why the Bracers are so much more popular than the police and Crossbell. And it's such a funny thing of, we can see the perspective of the SSS and Estelle and Joshua, but from our point of view, as we've played through Estelle and Joshua's journey, we've seen all of their struggles. We've seen how much shit they had to go through in order to become these heroes. That is now kind of in the realm of like, oh, that's a go-to bracer. You know, like Estelle and Joshua, they're so reliable. Even though we've seen their moments of weakness, we've seen their kind of falling out, we've seen how they've grown so much. And this theme is actually so great for having multiple protagonists in this series, because I know each arc has a new cast of characters, new protagonists, new everything. It just adds that extra layer of like when a protagonist shows up in like, let's say Cold Steel, maybe not, I don't know, but like let's say Lloyd appears in Cold Steel, I wonder if the characters there are going to have the same reaction as the SSS did towards Estelle and Joshua of, oh shit, here's that, famous leader of the SSS, Lloyd Bannings, in the great work he had done on defeating the Mafia and Liveshay, right? But they won't know the struggles they've gone through in order to get to that point. But we as the player, playing through all these characters, we know their struggles. We know what they went through in order to get to that point of becoming a legend. A heroic legend. Like, that is really, really cool that they're able to tackle this theme both from a story perspective and on previous, like mentor characters like Arios, Guy, and Cassius, but also apply it to our main characters as well. And I feel like we're just going to keep doing that over the course of these couple arcs, I feel like. And I feel like, I keep saying I feel like, over the course of these next arcs. And that's great to see. That is a fantastic way to incorporate that theme on previous protagonists of the same franchise. That is just fantastically done. Like, I hope to see more of that, because that's such a unique way of tackling that theme of perspective. Like, that is so cool. But yeah, I just want to get all my thoughts out on that. But for right now, what I need to do is a lot, such as taking out these monsters. All right, hopefully this guy's like at the entrance. Nope, of course he isn't. It's never that easy, is it? Okay, gotta search through all... Oh, he's probably going to be in, like, the main boss room, isn't he? That's usually where the hell they are. Which is convenient, but still. Alright. Time to... I'm up here. Okay, this is way easier to go through than all this shit. Also, oh my god, that's a fucking beholder. What the hell? Well, shit. Alright, let's go ahead and save, since this is probably going to be a hard one. Alright, we got all of our stuff. I think all of our CP is... Well, okay, at least we can do... Well, we can... Let's see if we can... I want to do Ellie and Randy's combo craft. Alright, so these guys have powerful arts. Yup, they're arts-based guys. Very much art-based. Okay. Fruit Blaster. Okay, how about we try to do... Lunar Cores, that won't work. These guys are probably weak to the higher elements. So you know what? Let's use Battle Scope. Okay. Let's see what we got here, Beholder. Grotesque creature that uses powerful mirage arts. Its venomous fangs weaken foes, and they're not weak to any magic, so... They're resistant to everything else, unfortunately, which sucks, but what can you do? Alright. Just gotta go physical. Just gotta go physical. Oh, God, okay. Can't really do any of those. Riot Star, yes. Ellie Randy. Okay. I just need to get Ellie just a little bit more. Is there any protective arts I can do here? Ooh, CP regen? That sounds pretty good. Forte. Crust? Ooh, I can do the crust. Shit. Fuck it. But then let's go for this. For these two. Definitely for Tios and she. Oh, Galleon Tower. Shit. Here we go again. Oh my god. Woo, thank god you got that 50% heal. Woo, woo, baby. Woo, woo, indeed. Alright. Oh, I did not mean to. That was so quick. I double clicked by accident. But you know what? That still worked. That still worked. Can't do that. Can't really do much here, so I'm just gonna build up my craft, combo crafts. And you know what? Let's go ahead for Riot Star. Oh shit! I keep double clicking. Yeah, that's all right. Oh shit! Damn! Woo! Big chunk. Nice. Okay, here comes the... Oh, yep. There goes my stuff. Just instant... Oh, my God. Just instant death? Jesus. Come on now, man. Come on now. Alright. Zero power. Alright, let's go for this. Okay, I gotta keep, Lloyd stuff here. Ooh, Salamander. Can't impede them, unfortunately, which sucks. I can't really do much. Ooh, CP plus 30 plus that. What would be the best thing? Honestly, I feel like more request, honestly. I wish I don't have to deal with the stuff here. Shit, he's gonna get critical here. Is there anything I can do? No, I won't even make it in time for any of those. Well, I can do... What can I do here? Well, he gets... Ah, damn it. Here's the problem here. Okay, so it's either I get rid of his crit, which is very important, but he gets 10% health. But if I... Huh. Should I just attack or should I just go for a craft? You know what? Screw it. Screw it. Alright. Boom. There we go. Youch. Alright. Here we go. Burning Rage. Let's go, baby. Or... Nah, I gotta go for it now. Let's go for it now. Burning Rage. Boom. Oh my god. Oh my god. That was so much fucking damage. Holy shit. Holy shit. That was a lot of damage. Alright. Shit. What do I go for? Do I go for the... Shit. What do I go for? Do I go for the tier? But he gets 10% health. Okay, at least... it's not 50% at least. Which is good. I'm going to have to heal up... do I have any... Yes, I do. Well, no. Nah, I don't. Do I have no large area? No, I don't have any breaths. That's right. Oh, I can do energy circle at least. Ah, perfect. 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 Right there. Here we go. He gets a critical, unfortunately, but... I'm just gonna have to tank it. I'm just gonna have to tank it. Oh, Jesus. That was a big tank. I'll admit that. That was a big fucking tank. Alright, let's go for Holy Bullet. Holy Bullet, please. Oh, wait, no. Can I go for a breath? Would that be enough? Nope. Nope. Definitely go for the Holy Bullet. Yeah, I can get everyone right there. Boop. Actually, you know, fuck it. Let's just go for them. Crimson Gale. And fucking Ether Blaster. Fuck you. Yes! 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 No! 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 You fucking instant bitch! You instant bitch! Go fuck yourself. Hell yeah. Good shit. Oh my god. Combo crafts are so broken. Oh, combo crafts are so broken. I love them. Craft book, Moon. This craft book looks as old as the last one. Seems like it's about combining crafts during battle. Mademoiselle and Teotop might get a kick out of trying this stuff in here. Oh, we could probably use this. Want to give it a try, Teo? Yes, we should test it out. Cool. Cold Johanna. Cool. Fuck yeah. What a unique way of getting the other crafts. Like, obviously, we got the combo crafts via, you know, Lloyd bonding with others. Well, here it's like, let's get these books. Would it be a little nice to see them actually bonding together in order to get these combo crafts? Yeah, probably. Probably be better to me at least, but hey, this is a nice bonus for like defeating like probably the final monsters, exterminate the final monsters in this place. So hey, that's pretty cool. Scary. Oh damn it. Ooh, Rising Sun? Oh shit. Oh, S-Break. Ooh, shit, new S-Break? Cool. Okay, cool. At level 32, you get new S-Break. That's pretty cool. All right, let's go over to Amorica Village since we're right over here and heal up. Oh shit! I don't want to mess with you guys. I don't want to mess with you, as I said before. I like they brought out the monsters for this like final part here. Adds more tension, obviously, but still a nice way to farm you material, honestly. All right, please, I need a rest. Yes. I have enough money, please. Please list up. There we go. Okay, all my stuff rised up. Actually, did I? Let me check if I did get any new material from there. Oh, I got about 11. I can actually make another thing from that. Cool. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. So we already got enough new material. Let's go ahead and make the other ultimate weapon, shall we? We already have Lloyd's and Randy's. So it's just Ellie and Tio. And Tio's already getting an upgrade for the T material. If I remember. Yep. Cool. Alright, so let me go ahead. Let's see. So let me take off Beatrice. Beatrice-sama. Customize. Ooh. Moon Load. Mastery modified to increase firepower and precision. Hell yeah. Let's do it. Let's fucking do it. Hell yeah. Let's fucking go, baby. Hell yeah. And all we have left is Tio's Stargazer. And that is... which is Shortener, of course. The Black Staff set with courts that cast Death Blow arts. Ooh, causes KO plus 10%? Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Hell yeah. But T was already going to get an upgrade with the T material, whatever the hell that is. I wonder if it's going to be a reward for defeating all these monsters. I feel like it has to be, right? Like I don't see any other way to get this damn T material, unless you have to defeat over 1,000 monsters in a certain order in order to gain this T material. There's some bullshit like that. Like I can see it. Okay, let's see how far in this other monster is going to be. The ancient battlefield. Hopefully not that. Okay, he's going to be far in. Alright. Okay, let's go on over to the easy place. Damn, I feel like I'm really like completing this game. Like I feel like I'm like maybe the way I feel that way is because maybe Zero feels a lot more like you don't go on this giant journey across like a giant nation like it was in Trails the first and second chapter, right? In Zero, it's a much more focused state. It's a widower state, but much more focused, and it feels like there's just a lot more to do, actually. There's the fishing, there's the customization with the U material, which is a great benefit, honestly, to keeping old weapons and actually using materials you gain from defeating powerful monsters in order to craft better weapons. I feel like that's an awesome way to do that. There's the fishing minigame. There's also the support request, which obviously we had that back in Trails the first and second chapter, but it feels like, I don't know, it just feels a lot more focused, while Trails in the Sky focused more on the journey. Like, it was much more of a journey, while here, it's much more like building like a community, actually. that's actually the best way to put it. It feels like you're building a community. You're building trust with the public by staying in this one place. While in the sky, it was all about you journey from one town to the other, spreading your legend. And then second chapter, shit gets wild with, Ouroboros and you defeating them, revisiting those old towns once more via new lens and defeating the enforcers. Obviously, they're going for two completely different things, which I very much appreciate. I like that change up. Well, this much, it's just, yeah, probably because this is so much focused in that you just have way more stuff to do, honestly. Which is why I feel like a sense of accomplishment, really. I really do feel like a big sense of accomplishment of, like, I caught all the fishes. I, like, doing all the support requests. It's awesome, honestly. Okay, where the hell? Ah, there he is. There's the monster. There's also a black chest up there. Terrabomb? You check the chest to see it full of fan mail just to the SSS. It's sweet, but you wonder how it got there. Oh no. Well, it wasn't me. Oh yeah, we got a bunch of Septian demons as well. Big bird. Alright, where the fuck is this Grim Reaper? Okay, yep, there. What the fuck is that design? That is badass, I like that. But still. Alright, let's go ahead and save. Oop. Before we face you, how about we face these? I need to get in what the hell is inside this black chest though. I gotta get every chest. Come on now. Oh, Rising Sun. Launches forwards upward and attacks like a dragon. Like a dragon? Ooh, a cool actual area attack for Lloyd. That's pretty good. Cool. I like that. Right. Let's go ahead. Focus up on one dude. Okay. Focus up. Okay. Boop. One down. Jesus Christ. All the just bullshit. All the bullshit. All the bullshit. Keep saying that, but it's all the bullshit, man. Fine, I can do a little bit of craft. Let's do Axel Rush. Always get these two totems. Damn it. Come on now. Gotta take him out. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, that's right. It doesn't count as a physical attack from Tio. That's pretty cool. That's right. It technically isn't a physical attack. Alright. Boop. Ikimasu. Boop. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Fine. You can at least kick your ass. Get out of the way of everybody else. Alright. Get over here, asshole. There we go. Confusion? Come on now. Can't be doing that. Firebolt. Firebolt. Ouch. Ice Edge. Boop. Boop. Damn it. Come on, please. Just take out these assholes, please. I beg of you. Firebolt. Did I ever, like... Where are they weak to? They're not weak to anything. All I can just do is just magic. Just hope. That's enough. Boop. Boop. Okay, it's enough. Bubble up. Good shit. And I got sent. You may have met my brethren. Between you and me, they're a little unhinged. Waka waka, you're so funny. Okay, no. I can't fight against them yet. No. No. I'm going back. I'm going back. Back here again. So, first things first. First things fucking first. Proxy puppet. Proxy puppet. Oh, proxy puppet. Oh, how I need you now. Proxy puppet. Oop. And proxy puppet as well. Because this is, if I remember correctly, let me check. Let me just check real fast. Items of note. Wields a giant scythe that can instantly KO. That's scary. That's fucking scary, but hey. We gotta get it. Fucking exterminate. Let's go. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, okay. Alright. Not that much damage. Oh, critical. But fire back, bitch. Okay. A lot of damage. Just right off the fucking bat. Alright. Okay. Okay. Alright, first of all, I'm gonna have to cast Tear. Because... Yeah, fuck it. I'm just gonna cast Tear. I'm gonna wait till Randy's turn. Because I'm going for that motherfucking Riot Star, bitch. Wait. What about Tio's, though? Ooh. No, I gotta go for the critical. Let's go. Wait, I can do it twice because 200. Yes, that's right. Boop, 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 boop. Bitch! Oh my fucking god! Alright, let's go for Cold Gehenna. Shoots a projectile of orbital energy at absolute 0. Let's go, bitch. Let's fucking go, baby! Oh, this is cool. Oh, shit! Oh, my God. Oh, yes! Because I killed him! I get the critical! But I need to do something before. And as soon as that's done, let me just go ahead and do this. Oh, item 0 power. Ancient weapon made for slaughter. It can kill with a single swing of its scythe. Oh, how interesting. Fucking die. Oh, shit. Holy shit. That's fucking awesome. Dude, these fucking combo crafts are insane. Sure, I did have over 200 CP and had a critical, but dude, holy shit. Fuck yeah, man. Let's go. Craftbook Sun. Golden Sun. This craftbook looks just as old as the last one we found. Looks like it covers how to use a combination craft. This technique described in here reminds me of Randy and Tio's combat styles. Oh yeah, totally does. Might be kind of hard to get the hang of, but want to give it a whirl, Tio Tot? Yes, we should test it. And finally, Hawkins Storm. Fuck yeah. I did it! I got all free! Let's go ahead and report. Wah wah! Boop. 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 Cool. Alright, I mean, that's it. It's just this one, which is, I don't know. Like, where do I find team material? We need one. We just need one team material. So let me check the guide, shall I? It says here that one of the chests is in Area 5 of the East Highway, so let us go over there. A level 30 chest, so might as well do them now. Everyone's like, ooh, level 30, we got all the fucking combo crafts we need. And it's these assholes from second chapter. I remember you guys. Alright. Hawkins Storm. Let's go. Let's go, bitch. Oh, shit. Hawkins Storm. Ooh, damn. Oh, you bitches. You bitches. You actual bitches. Super recovery? Come on now. Yeah, they're definitely... They're arts. They're fucking art dudes. You know what? Ooh. No, I can still do the combo craft between yeah, I actually really like this because it's not only just Lloyd that I can get combo crafts off now. I can get it off any other person, so I don't have to worry about like, well, what if I want to do it here? But no. Okay, let me battle scope so I can see what the hell your guys' weaknesses are. You guys have to be weak to fire. Okay, just Just fire, okay. Okay. Alright. Go Cold Gehenna? No. Star Blast? No. Riot Star though? Hell yeah. Let's go, baby. Ooh, good shit. Youch. Youch. Ooh, Freeze is a bitch. Freeze is a bitch. Freeze is a bitch. Bitch, bitch. Big bitch. Biggest bitch. Alright. Cura Bomb. Infuse. And that's petrified. Oop, warmer. Alright, warm. Warm, goddammit. Maybe I should have put on prevents freeze, honestly. Okay, at least they're not recovering. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I like that a lot. Let me go ahead and unfreeze our boy here. Yeah. I got a great idea right now. Warmer. Oop. Right into a circle. Circle of death, but yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay. TNS. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do on the health front, unfortunately, which sucks. Best thing I can do, probably Fear Ice in order for Tio. Oh, you are not getting that fucking health. I tell you what, boy. You ain't getting the health. Fear Bluster or Mega Strike. Oh, I can only get one. Damn it, I can only get one. That sucks. That really sucks. Fuck it. Get this guy. So he doesn't have any health. Diamond Dust. Oh, shit. Shit. Come on. I'm just gonna have to pull out the stops. I'm just gonna have to pull up the stops. Fuck it. This is bad. Fucking AoE attacks are a bitch. AoE attacks are a bitch. Go. Oh, AoE attacks are a bitch. AoE attacks are a bitch. AoE attacks are a bitch. There we go. First. Jesus Christ, it's so far away. Oh well. But, craft combo. Riot Star. Go for it. Boom. Big damage. Good shit. They're going to have to spend their first turn healing up. Good. Dick. Well, it doesn't matter because they fucking instantly... Yeah, they fucking instantly, like, do it. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Okay, at least this first... It's just going to be Ice Hammer. I deal with Ice Hammer at least. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, how much... Oh, okay. Guys, fuck off. Fuck off with this shit. Fuck right off with this shit. I'm dead serious. Fuck off with this shit. This is such bullshit. Alright, Randy and Tia. Such bullshit on every fucking level. Okay, then pop this. Pop this for Ellie. Pop that. Pop this as well. Okay, heal the fuck up. Fucking destroy this guy. There we go. Fucking Diamond Dust. Alright, pop everything! Pop everything! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! You fucking dick! Fucking dick! Oh, fuck you! Fuck you! Don't you get an extra turn? Alright, thank God. Alright, Ellie, at least Ellie has enough fucking time to actually heal. Alright? Actually fucking heal. Alright? Fucking heal, please. I beg of you. Holy shit. Okay. Okay, it's focused on Ellie. It's focused on Ellie. So, run away, Ellie, please. While we deal with this fucking asshole. Okay. Okay, let me Bioscope him since I have him. Okay. Then, let me just heal myself up. Just prepare for the worst. Here we go. Alright, at least I got rid of one. At least I've gotten rid of one of these assholes. Also, Just little tiny bit of damage. Not much, but a little tiny bit. I'm gonna have to build up my CP a lot. He heals so much. I can't. Wait. No. Here's the problem I'm going to fucking face. Here's the problem I'm going to fucking face here. The problem I'm going to face here is the fact of I'm not going to build up enough CP in order to fucking... Alright, what's this guy weak to? What magic is he weak to? He's not weak to anything. So I'm just going to have to do fucking firebolt and shit. I gotta hit the fucking bastard. Alright. Randy's going to get hit by this. He can take it. Okay. Alright, here we go. Heal both those fellas up. Get everybody here. Now heal up, asshole. Heal up. Oh, you didn't? You fucking didn't? Holy shit. That's a first. I haven't seen that in a while. Fuck you. Burning rage. And we're done. God, those guys were annoying. Ares gem. Cool. You're now breathing manually. That's my revenge for taking that quartz. Fuck you, man. Fuck you and fuck those enemies. Oh my god. Ugh. Jesus. Fuck, man. Ugh. That was a hell of a time. Holy shit, man. God. I got the Ares gem though. Let's see what the hell that does. Ares. It strength +6, defense +6. I mean, all right. I mean, it is sure is something. Yeah, I mean, less defense, but well, yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. Just give it to Randy. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it, I say. Fuck it. Okay, and that's pretty much the only chest I can deal with because the other ones go up into the 40s for right now. So it's like, let me go ahead and rest, please. Thank you. I don't think I have enough EU material either. Nah, I only got 2. Okay, I got only 2, I guess. But besides that, I don't think there's really anything else I can do. I'm just, yeah. I guess I just, according to the guide, I guess I can't find the other the team material yet. So there's actually one thing I want to do before we continue on with the main story. That is reading all of Back Alley Dr. Glenn. I do want to do it. I do have, like, there is a way for me to read the missing chapters that I don't have here, while also, you know, still reading the rest of the chapters I got, especially 11 through 14. Alright, fellas, we are going to read the rest of Back Alley Dr. Glenn, and over here, I'm going to be reading the missing chapters, aka 4, 6, 7, 8, then 10, then we can actually read the rest of these in-game. So, obviously there's not going to be any visual aid for this, so apologies for that, but I still do want to read through the rest of this. So, the last time we were on, Dr. Glenn was introduced to the boy, yes, that's right, from Hugo, that's right, Hugo and Sherry. That's right. Okay. All right. Let's start off with that. All right. Chapter 4: Crystallization. On closer inspection, the crystal resembled a carving of a human hand down to the finest detail, like an exquisite work of art. But a sculptor, talented and experienced enough to craft something so precisely lifelike, had yet to be born. The reason was because this dazzling SMLS crystal truly was once Hugo's hand. The effects would manifest quickly, transforming the body beginning from the tips of one's fingers or toes. The process did not result in any pain, but the parts of the body affected would remain lifelessly frozen in place. If left untreated, it would continue to spread up the limb, and after about a month, it would reach the heart, resulting in death. Damn. This disease was known as crystallization. Its cause was unknown, and the only treatment that could save the victim from a cruel death was amputating the crystallized parts of the body before it spread. Hugo could survive, but at a bleak cost for an aspiring violinist like himself. Gwen stood transfixed, staring at the boy's hand. Memories surged through his mind like flashes of lightning. When he was still a respectable doctor, he had to take on this very disease. But all it had brought him was, "Let go of me already, you big idiot!" The boy's outburst snapped Gwen back to his senses. Wiggling back and forth wildly, Hugo finally managed to wrench himself free of the doctor's mighty arm. He then launched into a verbal assault on Gwen, frustrated that this stranger had seen the state of his hand. The doctor waited patiently for Hugo to finish. Finally overcome with emotion, the young boy broke down into tears. "Damn it! Why did you do that for?" he cried as Sherry comforted him. It took a while to settle him down, but eventually he crawled back into his bed, pouting. Gwen and Sherry left the boy and stepped outside the room. For a while, the two of them stood in silence. It was Gwen who first spoke. "The brat's crystallization is at an early stage. If he's operated on immediately, his life will be saved. Any surgeon at this hospital can do an amputation." He paused. "What do you want from me?" The quiet tone of Gwen's voice was a far cry from his earlier forcefulness. It was clear all his spirit had evaporated upon seeing the boy's condition. "Hugo's dream is to become a professional violinist," Sherry began, "and he has more than enough talent to make it come true. For him, that dream is equal to his wife, Dr. Gwen. I want you to cure his crystallization without sacrificing his hands." Sherry looked up at the doctor with pleading eyes. "I want you to make the impossible possible." "Doctors aren't gods," Gwen said, casting his gaze downward. Hearing this response, Sherry felt what little hope she had evaporate. She tried to find something to say to change Gwen's mind, but no words came to her. In turn, he said nothing more himself. It was neither Gwen nor Sherry that broke the pained silence between them. Ooh, okay, so we're getting a little bit more backstory on Gwen, which is very interesting. So let's get back to the game and actually read Chapter 5, Rufus. It's no use. That man can't do it. Gwen and Sherry looked up to see someone standing in the quiet corridor at the hospital. He was a slender, tall man clad in a spotless white coat. He cast a piercing gaze at them from behind his silver-rimmed glasses. Doctor! Being a nurse at Amelia General Hospital, Sherry knew him as one of the doctors and worked with him daily. Gwen also happened to know this man, though it had been 10 years since they last spoke. "Rufus." "Gwen, what are you doing here?" Rufus scowled. Sherry's lack of surprise at this exchange suggested she was aware the two of them were acquainted. However, she could do little more than watch dejectedly as the tension rose in the air. Rufus looked at her and sighed, an annoyed crease forming in his brow. "What made you think it was a good idea to bring some back-alley doctor like him here? You should know that this could hurt the hospital's reputation." The look in Sherry's eyes switched to one of resolve. She was well aware of the consequences when she brought Gwen with her and was not about to give up just yet. "What do you mean by can't?" she asked, as if challenging Rufus's words. Gwen found himself wondering why Sherry's patient, the boy in the nearby room, was so important to her. However, he decided against voicing this question for the moment and stood in silence. "Simple. That man abandoned his work. When it came down to it, he ran away from being a doctor. No matter how skilled he may be, someone like him is incapable of curing the incurable. He cannot stop the crystallization disorder." Gwen let out a dry, bitter laugh as though to agree with Rufus. Then, without saying anything further, he turned and began walking away. "Dr. Gwen!" Sherry hastily followed after him. Rufus looked on as the two of them made their way down the hall. As they turned a corner, Rufus uttered a quiet before turning his attention to a nearby room. Room 303, the room where Hugo was staying. He cleared his throat and knocked 3 times on the door. Hugo, it's time for your checkup. From the rooftop of Melia General Hospital, Gwen gazed down at the city streets lined with high-end stores and well-kept houses. The view riddled with signs of the advanced orbital technology the country had been integrating. Brought him no peace, however. Said it only made him miss the rough-hewn charm of the city's decline downtown. He felt it suited him much better than such a pristine sight. Sherry stood behind him, a worried expression on her face. Doctor, Rufus, how good is his work? Gwen asked, more to interrupt her and change the subject than out of any actual curiosity. Unable to get around to deflection, she had no choice but to answer the sudden question. Dr. Rufus was scouted when this hospital was first founded. He saved many lives over the course of his career. In addition, he's published a great number of research papers. There are even rumors that he's going to be hired as a professor, despite only being 34. He's an ordinary man, doing good in his own ordinary way, Gwen said with a satisfied look. Even that ordinary man wants to save the boy's life, Sherry shouted. Her outburst faded to a muted tone, however, as she continued. But he plans to amputate Hugo's hands. If that's what will save the boy's life, that's what should be done, Gwen said, matter-of-factly. He expected this conversation to end there, just as their previous exchange in the hallway had. Sherry would not accept this outcome, however. Dr. Gwen, 10 years ago, you devised a surgical method to reverse the crystallization process. That's why, even if it's a risk, if there's a chance Hugo might be able to keep his hands, I want to bet on your success. Hearing that caught Gwen by surprise. Gwen chanced upon the idea years ago, a revolutionary technique, able to reverse the process of the disease, to cure it without amputating crystallized parts. It really would make the impossible possible. Certainly, if it worked, Hugo's life and dream alike would be saved. But even so, the thought of reversing that chapter of his past only reopened the scar in Gwen's soul. After a few moments of silence, he spoke quietly. You know that technique was a failure, right? Sherry cast her eyes downward in silence. She knew about the operation's outcome. And because of that, I lost her. With a somber tone, Gwen began to recount the story of his past, of the incident 10 years ago. Ooh, lost her, huh? Perhaps his wife, or maybe daughter. Let's find out. Chapter 6, Katarana. By the way, I'm reading all this from the Kaseki wiki as well, so shout out to them. 10 years ago, Gwen worked with Rufus at a hospital in the Principality of Wemophilia. The two of them, blessed with talents, were promising names among the young doctors. One day, the two visited a small theater where they saw a traditional Wemphalian dance known as a ballet. The dancer on stage was incredibly talented, and both men were awestruck, instantly falling for her. Her name was Katarina Ford. The two doctors came back many times to watch her perform, and, as if by fate, somehow became acquainted with this girl whose smile shone like the sun. The two men even got to know her child sister, who took a liking to them as well. It wasn't long before Gwen and Katerina fell in love. They were such a perfect match that even Rufus, his friend and rival in love, wholeheartedly supported the couple. However, their happy days together would be all too short. One day, Katerina came down with incurable disease and was hospitalized at Gwen and Rufus's workplace. The disease in question was none other than crystallization. Her legs, the life of a ballerina, were immobilized, covered to beautiful esmeralda crystal up to her ankles. It's pretty, right? She said, smiling and holding the gemstone that was once her foot up to the light. It was Katerina's way of staying strong and positive, typical of her bright personality. Gwen and Rufus, the doctors charged with her care, found it increasingly difficult to have such an outlook. However, to save her wife, they both knew there was no other way than to amputate the crystallized feet. It had to be done soon. But despite everything, they couldn't bring themselves to take such a drastic measure. For Katerina's heart still burned with passion for dancing, a passion that would coolly snuffed out were she to undergo an amputation. The doctors searched desperately for an alternative, any possible method to save both her wife and her legs. They scoured the records of all known cases of crystallization. They examined and re-examined her to try and find the real cause. Any possible lead or hypothesis was followed up as quickly as possible. One day, their frantic work finally paid off. Gwen had made a discovery. Patients with crystallization all had a common symptom, a small tumor in the heart. Initial studies suggested that this growth secreted a specific type of toxin that was then dispersed through the bloodstream and deposited in the extremities of the body. When it accumulated in great enough quantities, it would convert the patient's hands and feet into the familiar green crystals. If the tumor could be surgically removed, the root cause would be no more, and the condition would slowly reverse over time. Though the medical world was excited over these findings, the two doctors in charge of Katerina did not rejoice. The removal of a tumor inside the heart was an extremely dangerous operation, even in a country as renowned for top-tier medical practices as Ramatharia was. It would be intensely difficult surgery. If they failed, it would mean her death, but time was not on their side. The crystallization was advancing. They had to make a decision. The only option is to remove the crystallized parts. Choosing between wife and ballet is foolish, Rufus asserted, not wanting to go through such a risky procedure. Gwen agreed with his conclusion, even if his love would lose her ability to dance. So long as she had a wife, she could find a new passion. However, Katerina disagreed. Ballet is everything to me. Losing my legs is no different than losing my wife. If there is even a small chance that you can do it, I want to bet on your success, she begged her beloved Gwen. As the operation neared, Gwen grew more conflicted by the day. She was betting on success, but with her wife as the chips, the closer the surgery drew, the more he began to worry. In the end, her wishes got through to him, and he decided to do as she asked. Rufus was fiercely opposed, but upon seeing the look in Gwen's eyes, he understood his friend's resolve. Seeing that Gwen would do anything to save her, he realized there was nothing he could say or do that would stop him. The day arrived. Gwen was to be the surgeon. Katerina's sister worked on with concern as Katerina was transported to the operating room. Well, I guess Katerina's sister is, Shelley. I believe in you, Gwen, whispered Katerina, grasping Gwen's rugged hand. She fell into a deep sleep under the anesthesia. She never woke up. Gwen's story was finished by Rufus as he stepped out to join Gwen and Sherry on the rooftop. Afterward, Gwen abandoned the hospital. He ran away from Katerina's death, became a good-for-nothing back alley doctor. Upon hearing Rufus's words, Sherry glanced over at Gwen. What do you want, Rufus? Gwen didn't look up at his old friend. He simply continued staring down at the city below. Wait, never mind. Sherry probably isn't the sister because you probably already know this. Never mind. Rufus took a moment to choose his words carefully before finally replying. The date for Hugo's operation has been decided. It's 1 week from today. Oh shit. Get that operation. Chapter 7. The Clash. Upon hearing the news from Rufus, Sherry immediately objected. Wait, Dr. Rufus, it's too soon. Unfortunately, the symptoms of crystallization will not wait. We need to operate as soon as we can, Rufus responded. Gwen, his back turned to them, did not show any reaction. He simply continued to gaze down at the city as he solemnly listened. We discussed this with Hugo, and he consented to it. As a nurse, you aren't in a position to object, he continued. His cold statement temporarily got the better of Sherry. Without any way to dispute Rufus's words, she bit her lip in pain and dismay. The worst part was, she knew he was right. Hugo's 14-year-old body was much smaller than an average adult, so the time left until the crystallization reached the heart was also shorter. It was a natural, logical decision for a doctor to proceed with the surgery as soon as possible. Even so, Sherry protested.
Doctor, do you think nothing of Hugo losing his hands?
What I am concerned with, Rufus replied without hesitation, is whether he loses his wife. Preserving that is my top priority. He won't be able to pursue any dream if he dies. In his words, Sherry could feel the pain he felt at losing Katerina. Knowing this, she couldn't hide her sorrow. Rufus looked past Sherry to the large trim doctor who was still looking out over the city. I will save the child, he declared to Gwen. Good. Saves me the trouble of decline. Gwen said as he turned and began to leave, his eyes avoiding Rufus as he passed. Do your best, Dr. Rufus. He nonchalantly waved goodbye, his back turned to the others as he exited the rooftop. Pathetic, muttered Rufus. With that over, he urged Shelley to return to work, telling her that he would let the fact she had secretly called in an unregistered doctor slide this time. Her shoulders sagged. As she listened, her eyes were fixed on the ground. She was lost in her thoughts and swirling emotions. Don't involve him. It will only make this more difficult for you, Rufus concluded. Sherry raised her head at those words and looked into Rufus's eyes.
I'm sorry, Dr. Rufus. There's one thing I forgot to tell Dr. Grun.
What? Rufus asked, confused. Sherry did not answer the question. However, she simply began hurrying after Gwen. Rufus was left alone on the roof. The wind began to pick up, causing his white coat to flutter. He loved his temples and let out a long, deep sigh. Oh shit. I mean, when is this thing? Chapter 8, Irritation. Gwen returned to his clinic downtown. He found the place just as he left it, after walking through the pristine white halls of the hospital. However, he was all the more aware of how shabby and disorderly his tiny little clinic was. He glanced over to the corner where he had thrown the case for a mirror. It still sat there, nestled among dusty cobwebs. Even if the building he worked out of was 40 years old, it would surely be in better shape if he maintained it every now and then. And thanks to his confidentiality fees, it wasn't as though he lacked for Mira. He simply didn't have the energy for it.
Gwen, you're a respectable doctor.
Candelator would chide him.
You should care more about how you look.
Her words bubbled up in his mind as he slumped down in his worn-out chair. It was something she had said to him on more than one occasion back when she was still alive. Being a ballerina, she was always conscious of her appearance, both on and off the stage. Katerina was elegant, beautiful, and bright. She was everything Gwen lacked, which is also what attracted him to her in the first place. In all likelihood, the same was true of Rufus as well. Gwen's mind had darted to another familiar thought, one he had repeatedly dwelt on for the past decade. How would everything have turned out if she had chosen Rufus instead of him? After coming down with crystallization, she was left with but two options: give up her legs to ensure her survival, or try to save her legs by gambling with her very life. She chose the latter and begged Gwen to attempt the risky surgery. Though initially unsure, he eventually sympathized with her and attempted it. Had she been with Rufus, however, in Gwen's mind, there was a chance Rufus would have chosen to go against her wishes in order to save her life. If things had turned out that way, she would have survived. Even without legs, she would still be around. She might have even found a new passion, one just as dear to her as ballet was. Gwen knew all too well that thinking on what-ifs was utterly useless. Yet even so, he had spent every single day in the 10 years since her death going over every detail, replaying every mistake and theorizing every other possible outcome. Each day sinking a little further into his regret until he was drowning in it, no longer able to see the surface. Today was different though. After returning from Magnolia, Gwen's heart churned like a stormy sea. Was seeing Hugo's crystallized hands the cause? Did hearing how the boy had to choose between his dreams and his wife hit too close to home? Perhaps it was simply from seeing Rufus again after all these years, or maybe it was all of the above. Coming up against such a familiar situation, having to relive the same dramatic events that sent him down the path to becoming a back alley doctor. Regardless of the cause, he was irritated. Drawing short, ragged breaths, he went to his desk and opened the second drawer. After digging in the back for a moment, he dragged out an old, massive file. It bore no title, but one look at its size and the sheer number of papers stuffed in it was a clear sign of just how many years it took to compile. Gwen stared at it in silence for a moment. Suddenly, a white-hot rage bubbled up inside of him, and using the full force of his brawny arms, he threw the file with all his might. It hit the wall with a dull thud, bursting open and scattering its contents all over the floor. The outburst did not bring Glenn any peace, however, as he watched the paper flutter down before him. The only thing he felt was his battered heart breaking even further. "Doctor?" The sudden sound of a voice from behind him snapped Glenn out of his thoughts. He turned his head to see someone standing in the hallway. It was a nurse from Amelia General Hospital, Sherry. She looked around the room and surprised at the papers scattered across the floor.
If this is about the operation, it was already settled. Remember?
Oh. This is about the operation. It was already settled. Remember? Gwen growled in a low voice, glaring angrily at her. She was taken back for a moment at the darkness in his gaze, but quickly regained her composure.
"I've only come here to tell you something I'd forgotten to mention before," she said.
"Something you forgot to mention," Gwen said, his patience running thin. Gwen's furious glare would quickly transform into a bewildered expression, however, as she continued.
"Sherry's just my nickname," she said in a firm voice. "My full name is Sherry Ford, the woman you loved, the woman who lost her wife to crystallization. I'm her sister."
What? What the fuck? I did not expect that. So I got it right the first time. What? That I fucking did not see coming. I guessed it, but like that was just the guess. Okay, now back to the game finally. Chapter 9, Sherry. You're Katerina's sister? The shock of it all sent Gwen reeling for a moment. Sherry remained composed, however. She looked straight at him and nodded. Looking into her eyes, it was clear to Gwen she was telling the truth. Cheryl, he remembered the name. She was Katerina's younger sister. He had seen her many times at Katerina's hospital stay. Cheryl had been with her older sister on the fated day, right up until she was taken to the operating room. Looking closer at Sherry, the resemblance was obvious. She had a familiar kind of dignity and elegance in her eyes, and the same glance in her movements Katerina once had. Gwen felt ashamed at failing to recognize her. Was he so disconnected from those he had once cared for? He stood there a moment, lost in his thoughts. Sherry broke the silence.
"Your cure for crystallization cost my sister her life, but why did she request such a risky surgery in the first place? Have you ever thought about the reason, Dr. Gwen?"
It was so she could keep her legs and continue being a ballerina, Gwen responded reflexively.
Sherry shook her head. "It wasn't just that. The day after you discovered the idea, she told me she wanted to try it. I was against it. I heard it was very risky. I told her I wanted her to give up ballet in order to guarantee she would live, but she didn't hesitate in her reply."
Sherry closed her eyes and put a hand to her chest as she recounted her white sister's words.
"I want to do it, not just for my own sake, or so that I can continue ballet. This is a terrible illness. When I was told the only way I could survive would involve losing my legs, I was in despair, but when Glenn told me he discovered a new surgical technique to cure it, I felt a new warm light shining inside my heart. I think this is what hope is. If this method succeeds, it could bring that same hope to other patients with crystallization. I know this operation is still imperfect and comes with a high risk, but that's exactly why I want to be the first to try it. Whether he succeeds or fails, I'm sure that Gwen will learn something and be able to perfect it further. Before long, nobody will have to fear crystallization because, one way or another, my beloved Gwen will succeed.
Aw. Hearing Katarina's words, Gwen couldn't shake the feeling that she was talking directly to him through his sister. Sherry continued.
I mourn the death of my sister too, and yet I can't help but recall how you and Dr. Rufus did everything you could to save her. The respect I had for the two of you led me to pursue nursing. So please, Doctor, don't regret your choice.
Her message delivered, she bowed. After a long moment of silence, she raised her head and quietly left the clinic. Glenn, still speechless, slowly and shakily lowered himself down into his chair. For what seemed like hours, he stared at the spot where Sherry had stood. The irritation he had felt before had vanished, leaving a sudden clarity he hadn't felt in a long time. He now finally knew what Katarina had been thinking back then. He had heard her words from 10 years ago, and her sister had left him with parting words of her own.
Don't regret your choice.
All he had to do now was decide how to respond. The next morning, Glenn began carefully picking up the papers scattered across his floor. The regret and anger that filled his eyes the day before had been replaced by the fires of determination. Oh shit! Dr. Glenn's got his mojo back. Chapter 10, Hope. It was the evening 3 days before Hugo's amputation was to take place. After the date had been decided, Rufus, as the boy's doctor, had been visiting his room each day to explain a little more about the procedure.
Are you listening, Hugo?
Rufus asked in a tactful tone of voice. Since his surgery had been scheduled, Hugo had been absent-minded and listless. The reason was clear to everyone there. He had no hope for a future without his hands, a future where he would never again play the violin. Sherry, the nurse assigned to care for Hugo and assist Rufus, could hardly bear it.
I hate this,
Hugo said suddenly, gazing down at the thick gloves that covered his crystallized hands.
Why me? Why am I the one that has to go through this?
Sherry bit her lip to hold back her frustration.
It'll be okay, Hugo,
she said, having lost her sister to the illness. She knew just how hollow her words must have sounded to the boy, but she couldn't think of anything else to say to him. Dr. Rufus, however, calmly responded,
I've seen many patients over the course of my career. Among them, there are some whose lives slipped away without even so much as a glimmer of hope that they might survive. In your case, however, your survival can be guaranteed. As long as you undergo the procedure, you will live on. You will be able to find a new path in life. I think that's fortunate, don't you?
His words left the boy no room to object. Hugo gritted his teeth for a moment, but seemed to deflate a bit afterward, as though resigning himself to his fate. This is fine, Rufus thought. As long as he lives, he will still have possibilities. He only needs to find a new passion. Not like Katarina. When she lost her life, she also lost all of her potential futures. An answer like that is just like you. A baritone voice interrupted. Everyone there turned to look at the entrance to their room. There, his burly figure filling the doorframe, stood the back alley doctor.
Dr. Gwen!
Sherry gasped, her heart filled with relief for what felt like the first time in a while.
Gwen showed her a small smile.
Why are you here? Rufus adjusted his glasses and shot a glare at the unkempt man from behind his silver lens. Without answering, Gwen merely stared back, the look in his eyes alone repelling the question. Rufus frowned. The Gwen that stood before him now seemed worlds apart from the man he last saw on the hospital's roof. Gwen looked at Hugo in the bed. A flash of discomfort briefly washed over the boy's face as he recalled the doctor's previous rough treatment. The feeling quickly faded, however, as the apathy and despair that had taken hold of Hugo's heart reasserted itself. Your name is Hugo, right? Gwen asked, looking down at the boy in the hospital bed. Tell me, are you willing to risk dying? Gwen's abrupt statement startled everyone present. Not waiting for a response, Gwen continued. There's a procedure that can cure your crystallization without amputating your hands, but it comes with a high risk. It's not something you can just overcome for sheer determination. The danger is real, and the
consequences could be fatal. You must be willing to accept that, are you?
Each word he uttered was like a weight dropped in the 14-year-old's mind. The look in Gwen's eyes made it clear. He was not overstating how risky this procedure was. It truly could result in Hugo's death. But if he had the resolve, if he was willing to take that risk, then everything could be over without losing his hands, without losing his musical aspirations. Hugo, overcome with emotion, started to cry. The wishes he had buried, the feelings he had repressed for the sake of his survival burst out from him all at once.
I would die for these hands!
The light of hope was shining in his heart. Oh shit. And so, here we go. Will Gwen be able to successfully do the surgery, or will he kill the boy as well? Gee, I wonder where this is going. Chapter 11, Resolve.
Hugo, you should reconsider.
Rufus swiftly interjected. Though he was addressing Hugo, his gaze was fixed squarely on Gwen. Rufus shot a fierce glare at his former colleague.
This procedure to cure him without losing his hands. This is the same procedure you attempted at Katarina. Should know better than anyone what a failure that was.
The cold anger in Rufus's voice pierced Gwen like icy daggers. In response, Gwen held up the thick file he was carrying.
This is the result of all the research I've done in the 10 years since I became a back alley doctor.
He tossed the file to Rufus, who was taken off guard for a moment by sheer weight. He began scanning through the documents. The file contained an enormous amount of research about crystallization, clinical records, medical cases, reports of procedures, and results. It was obvious some materials were legally obtained, but they were all highly informative. As Rufus reached the final document in the file, his eyes widened. The document was a highly detailed description of a new surgical procedure, different from the one Rufus knew of, the one that had cost Katarina her life.
I developed that after going over everything that happened during Katarina's surgery back then. It's all thanks to her,
Gwen said quietly, before falling silent. It was clear he had continued fighting the crystallization disease for a long time. Even after he left lawful medical practice, years of treating patients as a back alley doctor had allowed him to research and perfect a new procedure.
Because
one way or another, my beloved Gwen will succeed.
Realizing her sister's words were right, Sherry began to softly cry.
It is true that performing the procedure this way, the odds of the patient's survival should be greatly increased,
said Rufus after glancing over the document. The effectiveness of Gwen's perfected technique was immediately clear to him. Hugo even perked up upon hearing Rufus's approval. However, Rufus then looked up at Gwen, the same icy glare still in his eyes.
Even so, I cannot hand my patient over to you.
Why?
Sherry stammered, bewildered. Gwen simply stood silently as Rufus continued.
I have heard from Sherry how Katarina faced the danger of that surgery in order to give you more experience, to ensure that even if she did not survive, others would. She had the resolve to sacrifice her own life for that. But you?
Rufus's eyes narrowed as he continued to glare at Gwen.
In the face of her death, you chose to run. You fled the hospital to go wallow in an alley for a decade. Your resolve is nowhere near hers, and I refuse to entrust one of my patients to someone as weak-willed as you.
Gwen closed his eyes and let Rufus's words sink in. They cut through him like finely honed blades, made all the more sharp by the fact that he knew every word was true.
You're absolutely right, he said. Back then, I didn't even have the bare minimum resolve needed to take down this disease. As a result, I ran away and started drowning in my regrets.
Gwen looked Rufus square in the eye.
But you know what? Thanks to these past 10 years of wallowing in an alley, I've learned a few things.
As he finished speaking, he moved his hand to his hip. He felt the familiar sensation of the cold metallic object he had concealed there. Holding the grip firmly, he pulled it out and pointed it directly at Rufus. Oh shit. It took Rufus a moment to register what was going on, but when his eyes finally focused on the object now hovering right before the tip of his nose, he realized he was looking down the barrel of a line-forward-made orbital gun. The light from the setting sun flooded through the room's windows and cast a golden gleam on the weapon's surface. Despite the warm light, it felt as though the air in the room had suddenly froze. "Are you threatening me?" Rufus finally forced out a question to break his stunned silence. His tone was defiant, but he could do nothing to hide his trembling. Glenn smirked wildly and began to move his finger toward the trigger. Then suddenly, in one fluid motion, he flipped the gun around in his hand, the muzzle spun toward him, and the situation was reversed with it. "Since the patient bears the risk of dying, it only makes sense that I, as his doctor, should also bear equal risk," Glenn said, offering the gun to Rufus. "If the surgery doesn't succeed, I want you to use this to kill me." It was clear from the steely look in Glenn's eyes that he was absolutely serious. This was his unique resolve, forged from years of dealing with criminals, the resolve only a doctor of the underworld could have. Damn! A heavy silence fell over the room as everyone there awaited Rufus's answer. He calmly closed his eyes, his expression hidden by the sunlight reflecting off his lenses. After a moment, he reached out and grabbed the grip of the gun. "What a stupid stunt," he said, a small grin on his face. "But your resolve seems to be real enough, at least. Truly think this procedure of yours can save you, then I'll bet on your success too." Oh shit, he agrees. The operation. Let's go. Damn, these are fucking long. Rufus summoned all the doctors who were to be involved in the operation now taking place in 2 days, to one of the hospital's conference rooms. There he introduced Glenn's new surgical procedure to them, arguing it was the most effective means of dealing with crystallization. However, he received a cold response from the other doctors at first. They were not about to easily trust some unlicensed doctor running a back alley clinic. Not only were his skills called into question, but his shady reputation preceded him, making it difficult for the pair to gain any ground in their prestigious hospital. Despite this, Rufus was undeterred and continued to lobby for their approval of performing the procedure. His adient persuasion, combined with the impressive merits of the procedure and Glenn's thorough explanation of it, slowly won them over, and one by one they withdrew their objections. With the hospital on board of the plan, Rufus and Glenn began going over the steps of the surgery over and over. Every single day they had before it was scheduled to take place, they wanted to do everything they could to ensure things would go as planned. For her part, Nurse Shelley continued to look after Hugo. His mood had undergone a dramatic change the past few days. Before, when he was certain he would lose his hands, his eyes were dull and listless, but now they were bright and alive. He had hope. All too soon, the day of the operation arrived. Hugo's parents, whose jobs had unfortunately kept them unable to frequently visit the hospital in person, made time to come see their son's surgery.
"I'll see you soon,"
he said to them as he was wheeled to the operating room. Both he and his parents were aware that there was a chance those would be his final words, and so he gave them a brilliant smile as reassurance before he was taken away. He had no fear himself. The presence of the two excellent doctors overseeing the operation was all he needed. Hugo was given anesthesia and finally taken to the operating room. Glenn and Rufus were sterilized and the surgical instruments that had been prepared were laid out. As the attending physician, Glenn stood before the unconscious patient. The other doctors, led by Rufus, took the cue and headed to their respective positions. For the first time in nearly a decade, Glenn had tidied himself up. He was now wearing clean, light-blue surgical attire. His normally scraggy hair had been tied back, and almost gave his appearance a hint of elegance, or at least it would have had it not been safely tucked into a surgical cap. Nurse Shelley was there as well, attending the operation as an assistant to Glenn and Rufus. She exchanged a wordless glance with Glenn, and he nodded in response. At long last, the time had come. "Well then, I'll start the procedure," Glenn announced. Rufus handed him a scalpel, and he began. He skillfully drew the sharpened tool across the incision lines that had been marked on the boy's chest, and the skin parted without resistance. As humanity evolved, so too did the human body refine itself over countless generations. Its various systems and parts came together to work as one beautiful whole, like an elegant wink of orbital gears. The body is an incredible machine, astronomically more complex than anything mankind was able to create, despite all of their advances. And yet, as incredible as they are, bodies will still break down, whether due to illnesses or injuries. A body will require repair and maintenance. It is the doctor's job to fix that which is broken and restore a body to working condition, to do whatever is required to prolong the dazzling gleam of life as much as possible. No matter if it was in a spotless operating room of a prestigious hospital, or the worn, grungy halls of his back alley clinic, each time Gwen performed the surgery, it was a duty he felt delighted and privileged to be able to perform. He was grateful to the goddess for giving him such a talent. With that gratitude in his heart and the skillful movements of the scalpel in his hand, Hugo's operation was progressing smoothly. Everyone in attendance stood in awe of Gwen's artful surgical skills as they played their own parts to perfection. Sherry wiped the sweat from his brow, Rufus handled the surgical tools, and the other doctors oversaw key elements such as medical equipment and anesthesia. At last, the boy's heart was exposed. Reaching this part in the surgery typically took quite some time, but after watching Gwen's effortless movements, it almost seemed like to everyone like it had taken no time at all. Down in Hugo's chest cavity, his heart beat with a healthy tempo and color. Healthy, with the exception of the sinister dark mass that clung to the organ's surface. This was the cause of everything. The tumor that resulted in the body's crystallization. This malignant growth had taken Katarina's life and countless others.
A little more. Hang in there, Hugo,
Sherry whispered to the sleeping boy. But as Glenn stared at the murky tumor that sat in front of him, his hand froze in place. Getting flashbacks. What if he fails? What if he fails again? What if he's not unable to do it? What if he kills this poor boy that has done nothing? What's wrong? Rufus asked, noticing Gwen's sudden hesitation.
Dr. Gwen?
Sherry looked up at him with concern. The other doctors looked on in confusion, not understanding what had happened. The moment Gwen caught sight of Hugo's pulsing heart, marred by that small, blackened lump, his mind was pulled back to Katarina's surgery. On that day, 10 years ago, everything had progressed smoothly, and by all appearances, the operation had been successful. Heart surgery is always a highly dangerous undertaking, but Glenn, gifted with talent as he was, had succeeded and removed the crystallization tumor without incident. What? Everyone participating in the surgery watched as the color returned to the heart, believing that they had finally triumphed over the disease. They had been too quick to celebrate, however. The tumor had been more closely tied to the surrounding tissue than expected, and removing it weakened the wall of the heart considerably. Just as Gwen was closing up the chest, the part of the heart where the tumor once sat tore open. Oh my god! Resulting in a large hemorrhage. Katarina's life flickered out swiftly thereafter. As Gwen stared at the familiar sight of the tumor in Hugo's heart, his own was gripped by fear. The fear that history would repeat itself, that he would be responsible for another death. Gwen's body stiffened, his mind went blank, and his focus shattered as he began drowning in his past regrets once more. Gwen! A powerful yell from his old friend snapped him back to reality. Rufus had seized Gwen's lapels and was shaking him. You should know better than this. Think of absolutely nothing else besides the operation. The only thing that matters right now is saving Hugo's wife. This boy, he believes in you. Show him his trust was not misplaced. Gwen was taken aback. He looked at the sleeping boy whose heart lay exposed on the operating table. Thump, thump, thump. The heart pounded as if calling out to Gwen, telling him that the boy still lived and could still be saved. That's right. This isn't the time to be spacing out, Gwen thought. He took a brief moment to compose himself and once again faced Hugo, his eyes set with resolve once more. Seeing this, Rufus let go of him and signaled to the others to resume the operation. Sherry sighed in relief and readied herself to continue. Rufus assumed the position opposite Gwen. It was time to perform the new technique, the segment of the operation that Gwen had refined since her last attempt. The tumor had the secret, with the exception of the central part that secreted the toxin responsible for the crystallizing effect. It was almost completely harmless. Given time, it would be reabsorbed into the rest of the nearby heart tissue with no ill effects. In other words, so long as the toxic segment was exercised, there was no need to remove the rest. The small change to the procedure would have made all the difference in Katarina's surgery. When Gwen discovered this during his research, pangs of regret dug deep into his chest. However, Katarina and Sherry's words had turned his regrets into gratitude. This refined technique existed and could be used to save so many lives, all thanks to Katarina's sacrifice. A small smile crossed Gwen's lips as he briefly reflected on all of this. A heart and lung machine was connected and drugs were administered to temporarily halt Hugo's heart. Both were cutting-edge medical technology that Rufus had made special orders to obtain for this operation. With the heart lying still, Gwen carefully adjusted it to have a closer look at the tumor. Removing only the central part would require several extremely precise cuts. One wrong move and the walls of the heart would be injured, but if successful, they could safely extract the toxins while avoiding repeat of Katarina's complications. Sherry folded her hands.
Katarina, please, lend Gwen your strength,
she whispered in prayer. Gwen slowly lowered his scalpel down toward the darkened tumor. Sherry, Rufus, and the other doctors closely watched the sharpened tip, each of them holding their breath. Outside their room, Hugo's parents fought with Roy, firmly prayed to the goddess for their son's survival. They had dutifully waited since the surgery began for what felt like an agonizing long amount of time, and they were nearly at their wits' end. Just as they thought they couldn't take any more, the operating light turned off. Their eyes snapped to the door, anxious for answers.
Was everything okay? Would their son live?
The door opened and Gwen's large silhouette filled its frame. Hugo's parents rushed toward him, their desperate hope playing on their worried faces. Gwen looked at the two of them and slowly removed his surgical mask. Behind it, his face was covered in a wide grin. Yeah, your son's dead, fuck you. Chapter 14, Gwen. A month later, in a private room at Amelia General Hospital's children's ward, the sound of a violin drifted out from Hugo's room. Both his hands had reverted to their former tender softness, and their natural hue had been restored. Not a trace of the unnatural green luster remained. However, sensation had not quite yet returned to Hugo's fingertips, making the task of deftly wielding a violin bow difficult for even one of Hugo's natural talent. Despite this, he simply could not wait any longer to return to his beloved music after being deprived of it for so long. His parents were visiting that day, and he tried to play an advanced song at his usual level for them, but the only sounds the violin gave off were a series of shrill screeches. His parents, forced smiles on their faces, encouraged him, but Hugo didn't seem to mind one bit.
A genius such as myself needs to try some avant-garde pieces every once in a while,
he said with a cheeky grin, causing his parents to laugh. He could play violin once again. That was more than enough for him, and he couldn't help but be ecstatic for that fact alone. He continued to play his strange, experimental piece, and the three of them laughed together. The sounds of the small concert drifted up to Gwen as he stood on the rooftop and looked down at the city once more. He had been stopping by the hospital every so often to observe Hugo's post-operation recovery. After finishing his regular medical examination, he had taken a liking to going up to the rooftop. He'd lean on the railing, gaze down at the city streets, and feel the breeze on his face. The sights from the roof seemed different to him now. The sights and sounds a little more warm and inviting. He still preferred the familiarity of the dingy streets he'd become accustomed to, but this part of the city was nice in its own way. On this particular day, Rufus and Sherry had joined him on the roof.
Gwen, are you listening?
Rufus questioned him. He and several others at the hospital had spent the last month trying to recruit Gwen.
Don't you think it would be best for everyone if you just worked here?
There had been an especially strong push to hire Gwen for the medical specialist that had seen his surgical skills firsthand. They considered it a regrettable waste for a man of his obvious skill to live in obscurity in the downtown district.
You invented an entirely new surgical procedure to reverse crystallization,
Rufus told him as they gazed down at the city streets.
You could make a name for yourself here as a respectable doctor. However, just like every time prior, Gwen's answer was a stubborn no. There are many people that come to my clinic downtown, he explained. They depend on me, and I don't intend to leave them now. I might just be some back alley doctor, but I'm their back alley doctor, you know, Gwen said with a grin. I see. A pity then, Rufus replied, a small smile flickering across his face.
Sherry checked her watch and let out a small gasp.
Doctor, isn't it almost time for your rounds?
Rufus nodded and turned to leave, but looked back at Gwen before he went.
And continue living as a back alley doctor, he said. Just be sure you can proudly tell Katerina when next you see her that the path you chose was one you don't regret.
With this, Rufus left. Such a harsh type of encouragement from his old friend brought an annoyed smirk to Gwen's face.
I don't need you to tell me that, he
muttered. Gwen and Sherry were left alone on the rooftop. There was an awkward silence between the two, made all the more apparent by the occasional screeches of Hugo's violin drifting out of his window. The silence continued until Gruen, unable to bear it any further, wordlessly turned and began heading to the exit. Before he could make his escape, however, Sherry let out a soft that stopped him in his tracks.
Dr. Gwen, I just wanted to thank you so much for everything you've done, she said. I feel like I finally understand why my sister chose you. After a decade of being repaid with a gun to his back, hearing such a formal, heartfelt thanks coming from the same direction threw Gwen off a bit.
There's no need for that,
he responded. His voice was softer, more sincere than normal.
Because of you, I was able to understand what happened with Katerina, so I guess I'm the one who should be thanking you.
Jerry was surprised by the sudden shift in attitude compared to Gwen's normal wide deflections.
Now that I think about it, she said, they told me that you didn't take payment for the surgery, Doctor.
In recognition of his miraculous surgery, the hospital had offered him a payment of Mira. Though there were laws that restricted the amount they could give him, it was still an incredible sum of Mira to the average person. Gwen had turned it down, however, telling them to spend it on Hugo's post-op expenses.
Well, I don't want to accept their chump change,
said Gwen, quickly returning to his usual demeanor.
But I guess, once that brat's well enough to get on stage again, I'll have him send me free tickets to all his concerts.
The thought of the infamous back alley Dr. Gwen attending a fancy violin concert brought a smile to Sherry's face.
Doctor, do you remember when I first visited you?
Sherry asked.
I said this wasn't a job from the hospital. It was a personal request, so if you aren't interested in the hospital's payment,
her voice lowered to a soft purr.
Perhaps I could pay you personally.
What? Suddenly flustered, Gwen turned around, only to find Sherry standing there giggling, a mischievous smile on her face. Gwen, beet red and a tiny bit miffed at being the victim of such a prank, turned and quickly retreated from the hospital. Sherry, now alone on the rooftop, leaned down on the railing where Gwen had been. She looked up at the sky cheerfully.
He's a wonderful person, Katerina,
she whispered, as a soft breeze fluttered by and a few harmonious notes from a violin drifted up to her ears. She almost felt like she could hear her sister laughing. And well, shit, that was Back Alley Dr. Gwen. Holy fuck. I hope you guys enjoyed that extended reading of Gwen. Hey, at least I was finally able to read one of these books, huh? First of many, because I'm gonna do my goddamn hardest to get the other books in this series. I liked that a lot. I actually did. It definitely felt like a medical drama episode, but like a good medical drama. Like, you know, Glenn was interesting as a doctor who failed to save his, like, you know, wife or girlfriend at least, and he felt like, well, he couldn't do much. Like, he failed at saving the one he loved most, so how could he save anyone else? Which is why he became a back alley doctor, and he was able to go through it with the help of Shelly as well. I liked it. It was a nice little, like, kind of character study on Glenn, and how, once again, how trauma kind of shapes you into what type of person you become. That theme of trauma keeps coming up over and over and over and over again. Okay, so that's how you get team material. I just decided to look it up. So I guess you only get team material from the final dungeon? From you beat one of the bosses and get team material, and then you have to exit the dungeon in order to complete the quest? That's kind of fucking insane. I would have never expected that, but okay, I guess. Weird, but okay. Well, shit. Okay.
No.
Well, I mean, I guess I can't do that quest at all, so how about we do some, let's do some of the main story, shall we? Oh, shit.
Maybe we should contact the authorities, Ian.
Also, the guy told me to go over here.
But if we are proven wrong, this could end up disastrous for him. I say we confirm our suspicions first.
You're probably right.
Oh, hello there.
The special support section. Ian, I think Adios might be shining down on us today. They might be just what we need to put an end to this matter.
Indeed, they have impeccable timing.
Huh?
Excuse me, but what exactly are you talking about?
Something happened to you too?
Well, it's actually about the owner of the trading company I mentioned yesterday. Not a single person has been able to get in contact with him since this morning.
Really?
It would appear so. You see, I'm actually acquaintances with the Reservoir Trade Company's owner. When I checked in on things, he was neither at home nor did his employees know where he could be. So I was just asking Ian whether or not we should involve the police.
That does sound concerning.
Do you think he has vanished?
I'm sorry, Mr. Hayworth, but with the current state of things, it will likely take quite some time for the police to respond. With that in mind, would you be open to us handling this case? I'm sure that we can get it cleared at the department.
I see. I would be more than open to that if you are all willing to help.
Of course, it might take some time, but you can count on us. Also, Mr. Grimwood, if you find any leads on the missing people, could you forward them to the chief?
Yes, I can do that. Be careful, everyone.
Will do, sir.
We should probably hurry on this one.
Agreed. Try not to make any more unnecessary detours. Okay, oh shit. Alright. I think that should have updated my quest log here. No, not that. Search the room. No, that's the wrong thing. I can. A manager of a trading company has also gone missing. Damn. A lot of people going missing. Something, these fucking art is the I feel like the DG is like back. Like that's the only explanation I can come up with, really. But you know what? Since we're over here already, let's go ahead and go to Mr. Bond, shall we? Oh, Mr. Bond. It's right over here. Oh boy. According to First Division's data, this should be the house.
I see a familiar face. Oh, what am I to do? I know this is hard, Cecile, but you have to calm down. Take a breath. As things stand, we really need to go find some help.
Oh, is he also missing? Is that you, Mrs. Hayworth?
Oh, the special support section. Oh, thank Adios you're here. You see, something dreadful has happened, and we were about to seek some help. Is it regarding the owner of this house? I believe he's a stockbroker, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, you're right, he is. When I woke up this morning, my husband was nowhere to be found. I tried looking around the neighborhood with Sophia, but we had no luck.
Is that so? Sorry to ask this, but has your husband been acting strange recently?
Now that you mention it, he has. My daughter noticed it some time ago.
Yeah, figures. Why do you have to go poof in the middle of the night? Gonna be a real pain in the ass to find witnesses. Yeah, looks like it. At any rate, let's add him to the list of missing people. You seem to be well acquainted with this family, Mrs. Hayworth. CBD is conducting a search for Bond, but it may take some time for us to find him. Would you be willing to stay with the family for a little while longer?
Yes, gladly. My husband should also be back from work soon anyway.
Thank you. We'll leave them to you then.
Father he just disappeared.
Aw.
He has a daughter, so how could he?
Yeah, we should try to hurry. I don't think they went out of their own volition, boys. I really don't think so. Alright, let's head down to downtown. Let's go downtown first and foremost. Huh, Wazzy's not over here. Are you looking for Wazzy? He's not here right now. Okay, well, thanks for telling me, boss. Hey, Wang, anybody ever tell you that you make one hell of a cocktail? Come to think of it, you got a solid command over your hands in general. Play a mean game of billiards, too. You'll get good at it if you practice this, though. Just keep trying your hardest. Yeah, okay. You're not bullshitting me, are you? Yeah, maybe I am, maybe I'm not, I don't know. What do you mean by that? Alright, let's head over to Ignis. I was going to say, this place looks empty as hell. Dino ran out of here crackling like a freak. Of course he didn't show up today. Fine then, we'll beat the tar out of that punk the next time we see him. Cackling? Yeah, freaking Dino, man. Did he seriously? I don't know if I could say it, especially in front of Wald. Oh. I was gone too. That son of a bitch. Oh boy, what did he do? He's nowhere to be found. We don't want that by me again. Because if I remember correctly, I ordered you to bring him to me. Need your ears cleaned or something? Yeah, about that. Apparently Dino never made it home. Then start looking for him, you dumbass! Sure thing, boss! Dino? Is he the one that's on the First Division's list? I don't know, but it sounds like he might be missing too. Son of a bitch. You guys out of your goddamn minds? Don't you think you can just hang out here? So Dino's missing as well. Fuck. The hell is going on?
I don't fully grasp this situation, but it seems Dino really is missing.
Yeah, they all seem pretty distraught over it too. Hey, probably Wazzy.
Hey, you guys got a moment to chat?
Yeah, nobody else has a cool voice.
What are you doing here, Wazzy? I'm curious to see how the Vipers are doing. I heard their newest member went missing this morning. I can't say that I'm that surprised, given what happened before. Hey, you know something we don't? More or less. But why don't we relocate first? You're all welcome to join me at Trinity. I'd be more than happy to tell you what I know, as long as you're willing to hear me out.
Alright, Wazzy. Wazzy's the only person we can rely on for more information regarding the Saber Vipers right now.
Indeed, we don't have any clear details other than something odd having happened.
Alright, let's continue on. Yeah, I shouldn't be locked out of this because I still have to go with Nikolai at Arkansas, so I should probably be locked out of other areas at least. Alright, Wazzy, I only fucking visited your ass. Now, same damn chair. You just love this fucking chair, don't you?
You came.
Mind telling us what's going on now, Wazzy?
I normally charge you for the info, but this one's on me. It's not like this Alpha situation doesn't concern us either. Huh? You know that new gopher for the Vipers. I think his name was Dino. He's been acting pretty strangely as of late. Yeah, I heard rumors. Maybe he tried to take on his superior in a fight. There's that. He also challenged Wall to a fight yesterday, too. Damn. Wait, seriously? Seriously? I didn't get to watch it with my own eyes, but he was supposedly keeping up with Wald in terms of power and speed. Oh shit, yeah, he is. Wald finally managed to take him down when he started trying his hardest. After he lost, Dino stormed out of the place. No one's seen him since that morning. Things ain't looking too good.
Right, this is becoming quite serious. So,
Is this all thanks to that fancy new drug? Oh shit. How the...
where did you hear?
Ah, I thought that might have been the case. I heard some strange rumor about a magical drug that grants your wishes or something. I figured that made for a reasonable culprit.
So you baited us with a leading question.
Hey pal, try not to run your mouth up about it too much. Don't need any more people knowing. I'll try to keep my lips sealed. For what it's worth, I don't think anybody other than Dino's used that thing around these parts. Still though, who could have given it to him? Better be more careful with my guys too. Thanks, Wazzy.
We appreciate the help.
Okay. Don't think anybody around these parts other than Dino's used the drug yet. Still though, who could have given to him? Okay. Guide also said to check back in with Wald, so... So... Yeah, okay. Okay. No, it was first Wald, then talk to Wazzy, of course. Okay, then let's head on over to the, to Arkansas. Oh, there's one thing. Oh, that's so... Oh, okay. Before we go over there, just one thing I gotta do. No. Before you see that cuteness, I gotta show combat notebook. Simulate work, information. You use my combat notes. Fiber and mirror, and a single U material. Fantastic. Not many, but still a little bit. At least. Okay, back to Arkansas and the cuteness that is. Oh, Stella and Joshua hanging up with Shizuku. Oh, that's so cute.
Okay, Shizuku, which flavors do you want to try? It's my treat, so go ahead and order whatever's going out to you. Oh no, you don't have to pay for me. You're already nice enough to take me around when Father's busy, so... don't think of it as a favor. We love hanging out with you, so we would have done this no matter what. If you're not going to pick anything, then I'll just order my faves, okay? Excuse me, miss. I'll take 3. 1 caramel crunch, 1 strawberry cheesecake, and 1 rum raisin. Here, I hope you're ready for some delicious ice cream.
Sorry about that, Shizuku. Stella can be pretty pushy at times.
No, that's not it. I'm just so happy.
What's Shizuku doing with Stella and Joshua?
It would be rude to interrupt them. Indeed, where has Alios gone, though? I would have expected him to be accompanying her.
You know what? Fuck it. Let's check the Bracer Guild. Wait. You know what? Yeah. Let's see what you got for us, Michelle. Well, hey there, sweeties. You sure do seem a bit frazzled. Could it be there was some big development with that whole Mafia fiasco? No, it's actually about something else. Oh, you don't say. Must be the missing people that got you run so ragged, huh, then? Wait, the guild already knows about that? But of course. In fact, Arios is that person investigating the matter as we speak. Ah, so that's where he is. But if this is something all of you are looking into, then I'm starting to think it's even more serious than we first thought. It might have been a little too naive of us to assume that it was only 1 or 2 people who have gone missing. Yeah, I know what you mean.
We would like to partake in exchange of information if possible.
Oh, we'd absolutely love that. Are you sure it's okay, though? Is sharing info with the guild something the SSS is clear to do? Psst. True. We are going off leads handed to us by the 1st Division.
Dudley would blow a gasket if he found out we leaked intel to the Bracer Guild. Well, once you've come to a decision, you're welcome back here anytime. I'll search through any new info Arias finds when he returns.
So cute. Alright. Let's see what the hell going on.
I'll look after Eugene, Korea. I'd really appreciate if you could go and check on Serene. Maybe settle her nerves a bit.
Okay, leave it to me. I'll keep her company for a while.
I'd heard Nikolai was training late into the night recently. Now that I think about it, his sudden surge of confidence did strike me as a bit strange. Damn it, Nikolai! You can't just up and disappear without telling any of us.
Another missing person. Where the fuck are they going, I wonder? Of course, they're in front of the stage. And he's usually being behind the stage, but no one can... Oh! So I should talk to Sully.
That Nikolai guy's been acting like a total weirdo. He got into a fight with Vixia and even shot Diddy works at Lilia.
Oh, damn.
I was about to punch him square in the jaw, but Lilia stopped me.
Oh, you'll get him, Sully, don't worry. I like Sully.
Oh, the special support section. Perfect timing.
Has something happened, sir?
Actually, if you could, please keep what I'm about to tell you a secret. We discovered that one of our artists went missing this morning.
I'm pretty sure we mentioned him before. His name is Nikolai. Anyway, he apparently never showed up at home yesterday. We were told his family's searching for him, but they haven't had any luck yet.
I tried reaching out to all of my contacts, but no one has seen him anywhere.
Nikolai? Is he not the man who was behaving oddly?
Yeah, that's him. He was timid and would make all sorts of mistakes, but right after the anniversary festival, he started to demonstrate incredible talent.
You say talent, but could you be a little more specific, sir?
Well, his physical prowess skyrocketed. He improved to the point where he could handle the most passionate scenes with ease.
It was strange, though. It almost seemed as if he was possessed by someone or something. It really didn't seem like it was Nikolai performing at all. So I got the impression he was delirious. He seemed like a completely different person.
Well, sounds like we got our answer.
And he's disappeared too, just like the others.
Mr. Arvian, would you mind reading this case with special sports section? We might be able to find him.
Truly? We would greatly appreciate your assistance.
That's probably our best bet. We can rest easy with Lloyd and the crew on the case. Besides, we'll be busy enough rearranging today's program.
Whoa, hold your horses. You seriously still planning on doing today's performance?
Yes, we were just in the middle of discussing it. Even if Nikolai doesn't return in time, we can't just cancel the show. We'll likely have to rearrange the walls. Either way, we'll manage.
Arkansas won't simply walk off at the stage because of a setback. We'll have to take some time to adjust the walls, script, and even the scenes. However, we can always delay the start of the show. We just want to make it happen, that's all.
I am amazed by the tenacity you apply to your craft. Isn't that the truth? Shouldn't have expected otherwise from them.
Alright then, best of luck with your show. If you could, keep an eye on the dressing rooms and auditorium. Nikolai may come back later. If you do spot him, contact the SSS immediately.
Of course.
I'm sorry, everyone. If I had just been more careful, this would never have happened. Please find Nikolai Lloyd.
Don't worry, we will.
Alright. Oh, my voice is so hoarse.
Goddamn. But we got everyone.
まさか全員行方不明になってるなんて。
Oh, thank God I can have a break finally. After reading so much. The first half of this video was all combat. Second half is all story, baby.
嫌な予感的中だな。自発的に消えちまったのか、それとも拉致されちまったのか。
現時点では情報が少なすぎて、どちらの可能性も考えられますね。
失踪した5人については氷山の一角かもしれない。クロスベル市全体ではかなりの人数が失踪している可能性が高そうだな。
ええ、一体どれだけの人たちが消えてしまったのか。
どうするロイド。 一人一人を探すってのはさすがに難しそうだぜ。
ああ、こちらの手が圧倒的に不足している。
We need backup.
こうなると上からの圧力で一家が動けないのが痛いな。
でしたらニカのドノバン警部に相談してみてはどうでしょう。以前手伝った貸しもありますし。
いや、難しいと思う。ダドリー捜査官がわざわざ支援家を頼ってきている以上、
Yeah.
ニカにも圧力がかかっているはずだ。
なるほど、確かに。
But I do have one idea. Lloyd like looks behind him as Estelle is like fucking like eating like free ice creams at the same time somehow.
となると広域防犯課も状況は同じでしょうね。
I got one person in mind.
警官隊のマンパワーが使えればすごく助かるのだけど。
Oh shit.
はい、
Moshi
特
moshi.
務支援課ロイド・バニングスです。
おい、新米ども、
Oh shit, Dudley.
まさか何かしでかしたんじゃないだろうな。
Fucking investigating and killing monsters.
え、もしかしてその声はダドリー捜査官ですか？
That's why did you get my number?
もしかしても何もない。お前たち、ルバーチェに何かちょっかいをかけなかったか。
いえ、別に。現在は薬物捜査の方に専念していますから。あ、何かあったんですか？
あったも何も、連中の事務所が。
Office what?
何でもない。何もしてないなら構わん。そのまま捜査を続けていろ。
What's up with their office without? Come on, Dudley.
ダドリー捜査官から何かあったの？
いや、
Lloyd told Ellie and the others about his conversation with Dudley.
なんだそりゃ。
露骨に怪しいですね。ルバーチェ商会で何かあったんでしょうか？
可能性は高そうだな。
これ行ってみるしかねえんじゃねえのか。
そうね、構想には関わるなって釘は刺されているけど、失踪者にマフィアが絡んでいるなら大義名分は立つのではないかと。
なあ、ルバーチェ商会に急ごう。
Vash and Co. Indeed. So I feel like this is a perfect stopping point right here, folks. As oh boy, I did a lot in this episode, and according to this guide, it seems like once I go to Vash, that will be like a cutoff point for me. So yeah, if there is anything else I need to do, you can always, remind me or tell me in the comments down below. But I feel like I've done pretty much everything I can do at this point, besides, the ultra hard chest, obviously. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit that subscribe button. If you liked it, hit the like button. Return us soon. Put it down in the comments below. Check out Discord server on in, or my Twitter. Check description below. And yeah, it's been Voidlego. I'll see you guys next time. See ya!